Biafra, superstars, media.
My fellow Biafrans, I say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, depending on where you're listening to the tone of voice. This is the Biafra Superstars Media. At this point, fellow Biafrans, you've heard from us. You've heard our analysis. You've heard our take on the case of Nnamdi Kanu. Today, I want us to listen to what the media are saying. The media in Nigeria, those known as the Zoo media. Let us take on their own perspective. Let us see their own so-called analysis, their interpretation of what is happening to our leader Nnamdi Kanu. We call it persecution. We call it persecution. At this point, I present to you the TV station of the one they call Jagaban, Tinubu. Check the standard, check the quality, and tell me Nigeria will be good or not. If the TV station of Tinubu is having difficulties in terms of signals, clarity, and communication, as you're about to see now, then tell me if anything good can come from that damnable republic called Nigeria. Fellow Biafrans, sit back and relax and watch the analysis from the Zoo media. If you're ready, let's go there. Listen.
A report about the trial of leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu. Our senior reporter, Celestina Ria, joins me now for more updates. Celestina, bring us up to speed on the court proceedings.
For Nnamdi Kanu's lawyers, the court examined the first prosecution witness that was called to the stand today. We also recall that the court has ruled that the witnesses presented by the federal government should testify behind the screen or the mark, because the counsel to the federal government, the way that Womola has said that for security reasons and for their safety, they should testify behind the screen. And the first witness called by the federal government today is an officer of the DSS who was among the team, who led the team that arrested Mr. Kanu in 2015 in Lagos State. How Mr. Kanu was the bridge, the statement was taken. Also, they also tendered it before the court today. The item that was recovered from Mr. Kanu when he was arrested in 2016 has to do with some jewelries and clothes and some other of his valuables. But the court has tried to remove those items that were taken from Mr. Kanu that are not pertaining to the case or are not relevant to the charge to the returns to Mr. Kanu. But his lawyer said that those items were seized or taken in 2015, and it's about 10 years. I've got ready to Mr. Kanu. There are perfume, watches, telephones, and some laptops. So far, because of time, the court adjourned to Friday, which is 2nd of May, to allow the defendant to cross-examine the prosecution witness.
All right, and based on that report you sent, you mentioned that the witness is going to be cross-examined, behind screens, and the witness's name has been given as Mr. AAA. Talk to us about, events surrounding that.
Well, he said they led a team. That is in October 14, 2015. He and some of his officers went to Golden City Hotel in Lagos in 2015, where they tried to apprehend Mr. Kanu.
Listen.
But eventually they were able to arrest him, and when they got to his room, they found the personal equipment, which they also took into custody. And when they got to their command in Lagos, following the 15th of October, he was
see how noisy the sound is.
Interviewed or rather interrogated, and that interrogation was video recorded, posing questions to Mr. Kanu, and he was also answering them questions as to why he started Radio Biafra and the registration of Radio Biafra and its operations. And from the recording, we
just listen.
In the UK and not in Nigeria, and it was for the emancipation of Biafra and also for freedom fighting. He said that in the recording, freedom fighting is not a crime.
All right, Celestina. Let's now go to another, matter, which is the case
Hold it there. See how callous, how nasty, how unpleasant the sound is from the TV station of the one they call Jagaban, TVC. Ordinary appliances they can buy. State-of-the-art devices they can buy. And you expect them to build or rebuild a country that can compete with the Western world. Even we, with our little appliances we have here. Have you ever heard my voice sound so shabby? So noisy, so unkempt? At this point, my people, all I want to say is please ignore them. They have nothing against Nnamdi Kanu. You've just heard from them. They said, oh, they are going all the way back to 2015, where he was held somewhere in Lagos State, and they had his iPhone and some jewelry. In the local, they call it obiter dictum, out of point. What you are discussing has nothing to do with the case of Nnamdi Kanu. It has nothing to do with the case. This is the problem, my people. So please ignore those naysayers, those who are saying those things. Ignore them. You claim he's a terrorist and you're talking 2015, iPhone. About iPhone. About gold and jewelry. Fellow Biafrans, follow who no road. Nigeria is a lie. The foundation, that entity called Nigeria, is a lie. Their media is a lie. Their government is a lie. Their institutions are lies. Their parastatals are lies. Even the people that believe in Nigeria, they say they love Nigeria, they are a bunch of liars. That's who is gone, is condemned. They have no case against this man. They went to Kenya to kidnap him, a Fulani man, in the name of Buhari. That dead, stinking idiot spent the wealth of the Biafrans, the money they got from the proceeds of crude oil. They used it against us. Paid some mercenaries in Kenya to kidnap Nnamdi Kanu, only for him to be brought back to that so-called Nigeria, and they have no case against him. It's very, very sad, fellow Biafrans. It's very, very sad. Sometimes I feel like shedding tears for those that believe in Nigeria. Those that say God bless Nigeria. They bless their police, they bless their army, they bless their government. They say pray for Nigeria in distress. As a child in the Catholic Church, there was a seminar that a secular that went around and said, all churches must pray for Nigeria in distress. In the early 90s, people were praying for Nigeria in distress. They take the problem of Nigeria to God. But today, it is worse. Pray for Nigeria in distress. According to the Archbishop back then. But today, the Nigerians that they've been praying for is being described as a shithole country. It's being described, likened to being fantastically corrupt. I rest my case. For those that have ears, let them hear. Nigeria is gone. Nigeria is a lie. They have nothing on Nnamdi Kanu. I rest my case. God bless you. God bless Nnamdi Kanu. And may God bless Biafra. Yeah, Biafra, Biafra. Yeah, Superstar Media. Tell me about Biafra. We going back to the motherland. Tell me about Biafra. I wanna know. Tell me about Biafra. We going back to the motherland. Tell me about Biafra, Biafra. I wanna know. We going back to the land. We going back to the motherland. Biafra, Biafra. Tell me about Biafra. We going back to the land. Tell me about Biafra. We going back to the motherland. Tell me about Biafra, Biafra. Tell me about Biafra. We going back to the land.